So this video is about my time in Belize. Belize it. All right. So Belize, it was an interesting time. It was an interesting time to experience a country rich with culture, history, and excitement. Upon my arrival to Belize, I came to the international airport in Belize City. Then from there, I checked into my lodging in the Best Western there. From there, I went and did a little bit of tour of the city. But first, I had to get fresh. So I went to get a haircut at the Belize Barbershop on Orange Walk Street, if I'm not mistaken. From there, I went and did a tour of the Belize city with my man Michael. He showed me around. He showed me the different places that were popular where the cruise ships come in, the different places they have there for shopping and other excursions, to include taking a taxi, water taxi, to Key Coker and San Pedro. Later on that night, I went out to the waterfront near the Radisson Hotel and moved around a little bit. Got to see what it was all about. Had some dinner at the Radisson Hotel, one of the popular spots there. Got something to eat. For you vegan people, they had a vegan burger there, so they had some vegan options for the vegan eaters. After that, I went back to my lodging and then got some rest. The next day, I went to Key Coker. Key Coker was an awesome time in the sense that I got to meet some more of the locals that was out on the beach hustling. You can see in one of my videos that actually welcome to Key Coker part 3. You can see me talking to some of the locals, to include some of the individuals that made famous water excursions that are there. So it was great to see the black people out there working, making money. I later on, a couple days later, got my hair done on the island by the amazing Sasha. She did a great job on my hair, which I had twisted. You can kind of see it up here a little bit under this do-rag, but I have it on the blog on my video, Welcome to Key Coker Part 2. You can see how my hair is twisted. Again, she did an amazing job. If you're ever in Key Coker, go see Sasha. She's phenomenal. You know, it was a cool time. I didn't really like the fact, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Jamaica. Only I didn't really like the fact, I don't, personally speaking, like being around a lot of, elitist kind of people, kind of people who hate people because of the color of their skin, and then run to countries where the people have color in their skin so they can pretend they're better than the people that have color in their skin, and then dress like the people that have color in their skin, dance like the people that have color in their skin. Listen to the music like the people with color in their skin. Go to the islands to get BBC, and then, they come back to the United States or UK or Canada and harass the people of color in their skin, whether that's the First Nation, Canada, or the blacks and the Latinos in America. So that their vibration always negative. Only God knows why they're here, but they were there. I didn't like that. I don't like being around them. I actually like to stay the hell away from them. But they were there. But the amazing Belizean people made it all worthwhile. They told me about how they, it was a hustle for them. They try and make their money, doing their thing despite all odds. So I would say, in Belize, going to Key Coker is one of the premier spots you got to check out. Um, it's really awesome in the sense that despite any negative vibration, it's overridden by the positivity of the locals, selling jewelry, stones, the locals of Mayan descent, of Creole descent, and then of Mestizo descent. Hardworking people. A young lady of Creole descent, Aaliyah, in my Welcome to Key Coker Part 1, you can see that she's working her mom's restaurant shop out on the beach, and they do an amazing job of cooking seafood, and then also they have additional vegan options. It was really great. They had two options. They had a jerk chicken, a jerk inspired dish, and then they had a coconut dish as well. Both vegan and both excellent. Um, when I was there, I also tried some amazing island drinks. So one of the things I like going to the islands or island-inspired countries like Belize is the fact that the slow pace, the tropical environment, Caribbean Sea, and then also the drinks they have there. They had this drink called Rude Boy. So it was like an energy drink pre-workout slash get you going workout for whatever activity you want to engage in, with out and about or with a significant other. It was really good. It tasted great, and it was one of the popular staples there in Belize. It's called Rude Boy. Then also, even probably more popular than that, the national drink of choice as far as uh, beers are concerned, Bellican. Really awesome. Really great drink. Had a nice crisp taste to it. It reminded me of the Presidente drink that is synonymous with the Dominican Republic. Really good. Really good crisp taste to it. Um, you know, uh, Definitely when it's served at its best, when it's served chill, you can really get that real crisp taste that's really good. Um, Great drink to sip on and drink on when you vibing out or when you're out and about. And yeah, definitely Belkin, Belken, um, the national beer in Belize. So I walked around the island in Key Coker, went up and down, and met some amazing locals along the way. A couple fellas that showed me around at individual times, telling me the do's and don'ts, where to go party, and it was a place called the Lazy Lizard that was very popular. You have a lot of hardworking people there. Um, when you're on the island, definitely go out, support them, buy a drink, to some food, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Key Coker, it used to be one main, just full island, but there was a storm decades ago, if I'm not mistaken, that broke the island in half. So you had the south part, or the south, and then you had the north part. North part is a bit uninhabited, if I'm not mistaken. There's not as many people there. Most people stay on the south part, but you can swim over to the north part, which I saw several people doing, um, or you could take a boat or canoe. They had canoes where people could take a canoe and you know hack it over there. It's not far. It would be like a 5 minute canoe ride over there. You could swim. Take about maybe 8 minutes to swim over there. Freestyle shouldn't be hard. I saw a couple of guys doing it too. Um, so it's right in front of the people do right in front of the Lazy Lizard restaurant, which is it's pretty awesome. It's kind of like it's like, in addition to being a hangout spot, it's the connection between the two portions of the island. So um, definitely when you're on Key Coker, go to Lazy Lizard, and then also take a trip to the north part. When I was looking at hotels to stay at, I stayed at the Jan's Hotel, if I'm mistaken. But yeah, it's called Jan's Hotel. However, they had some really nice developments on the north part. I didn't go to check it out. It was a little pricey, but it was really nice. It was, you could see all waterfront properties. It wasn't deep in the island, and so it's really beautiful. And I actually saw the properties that I was checking out on the north part of the island when I took the ferry to San Pedro. When I went to San Pedro, whew, that is a busy place. Everybody on the golf carts riding around from place to place. A lot of locals told me Keycote was more slow paced. They weren't lying. San Pedro is fast paced. Lots of stuff going on there. That's considered like the Miami of the islands there in Belize. A little bit more westernized. However, to me, Key Coker, I think is definitely a shoe in of the place to go to because it just had a tropical, relaxed feel. Everything is everything man kind of vibe with the locals and their culture, and it was really cool to be involved with that and just feel the vibes, feel the vibration and the relaxation that was house on the island of Key Coker. A few days later, I went to, via recommendation by a friend I was hanging out with that I met on the island, to San Ignacio. Now, San Ignacio is near the border of Guatemala, and it's where a lot of people go to do a lot of outdoorsy stuff. To go see the Mayan ruins there, which, by the way, I did. I checked out one of the Mayan ruins. You can see the video of that on this blog. Chahal Peck, if I'm not mistaken, that's how you pronounce it. That's what it's called. One of the Mayan ruins in Belize. Then later on at night, I went around downtown. It's kind of like a ghost town, though. This whole pandemic, man, is shutting things down. I don't even think it was 10 o'clock, and there was really nobody out. There was a secret party that I could have went to, but I found out a little late. They have a restriction on the amount of people that can come to the party, most likely due to the restrictions of this pandemic that's going on. And leave it at that. And then, any event, I went around, checked out a couple of spots. The lodging I was staying at, one of the dudes, he showed me around. Very amazing guy. He showed me the different spots that were going on, that were popular when things were open, and then also went to a couple of bars. So it was cool. The bar scene there is not very extravagant. Just little small spots. San Ignacio was a pretty small town, so it's definitely not a party area if you're in the Belize. But if you wanted to go do like some outdoorsy stuff or go see Mayan ruins, it's your place to go to when in Belize. I would say for party scene, your best bet in Belize for safety and then just overall ambiance is Key Coker numero uno, and then San Pedro. Later, towards the end of my trip in Belize, I went to the Afro-Caribbean town of Dangringa. In Dangringa house the Garífuna people. The Garífuna people were a set of black people, Afro-Indigenous people that have lived in the Americas pre-Columbus. Breaking down that ridiculous notion and storyline that is told by white supremacists that Christopher Columbus discovered America, which he did not. He did not discover America. There's research. You can do your research. There was people here in the Americas pre-Columbus, to include the Garífuna people. They beat him to the punch, so it didn't win that race. And yeah, so I went to Dangringa, and I actually got a video on my blog called Dangringa. You get to see some of the descendants of the Garífuna people there. a lot of the people, you know, they are they have their own culture, their own way of doing things, a little bit different than some other parts of Belize. And let me point this out. Belize, a lot of times, a lot of countries, they're primarily one culture, and you maybe have smaller sects of cultures in the main culture. But with Belize, it's so many different cultures. I mean, you got the Creole people, the black slaves that were brought there by the British. Then you got the Garífuna people that were there before any other people were there, except for the indigenous people. A segue into the Mayan people, who was there pre-Columbus as well, to the west, and the San Ignacio, etc. And then you had the Mestizo people to the north of Belize City. And they all got their own cultures, their own flavor to them, and they all combined to bring it all together as one. The people, they said that they cohabitated with one another, hung out with one another, and observing them for the most part, they did. Similar to the United States, where depending on the location, you might see like a lot of blacks hanging out, or some blacks rather, hanging out with Latinos. You kind of had that vibe. I did my own research, and I read some things that maybe contradict that a little bit. But overall, when I observed the people, most of those people of the pseudoscience racial categories did hang out with one another. And another thing, similar to what I saw in another Central American country, Panama, a lot of the people that are under the racial classification Latino or indigenous people mixed in with the black people that were brought there. So you'll see black people with phenotypes that are similar to someone that will be associated with someone that is indigenous. Very high cheekbones. They may have more of a narrow in their nose, et cetera, et cetera. So and I talked to the locals, the black locals. They told me, yeah, we mixed in with a lot of people because we all live around one another. So, that's natural. So, yeah, it was pretty cool to see the different cultures intertwine and intermingle with one another. I liked it. Saw it on the island, Key Coker, and then I also saw it in the mainland as well. But going back to Dangringa and the Garífuna people, they were people, pre-Columbus, Afro-Indigenous people of the Americas, mostly housed in Honduras and in Belize, and this, I believe there's some in Guatemala as well. But they had their own culture, their own language. One thing, I saw a documentary, I think, and they was mentioning Nigeria, and some Nigerians were migrated to Belize. But I mentioned this to several girls, and they told me, no, we are not Nigerian. We are Garífuna. We are the people are Garífuna. And so we have our own language, our own culture. I saw the flag. You can see the flag in my video on when I'm talking to Ella of the Ella spot. It's a black and yellow flag, but they have their own culture, black culture. And they a lot of their customs and courtesies harkens back to their African roots, with the drums, the playing the drums, etc. So it was pretty cool seeing the people. A little bit more of a poor area, so it's a little bit more run down. However, a lot of locals told me it's safe. It's real quiet over there. So it's not that developed either. So similar to some parts of Belize City, you're gonna see a lot of shanty towns, some shanty towns when driving through the area. But overall, the blacks, they were real cool. You could talk to them, and they're not, it's not like it's different than, let's say, the blacks in America, where they don't communicate with one another, and like they're calling each other brother and stuff like that. I saw more people interact with one another, interact with the locals. You see people really, really socialize with one another, and I saw this on and on and on and on. And that's just more the relaxed vibe that you get when you go to the islands, Jamaica, Belize, etc. I later on went to the city called Hopkins, and it's more of a touristic spot where a lot of the people Garífuna descent originate from. And I had a drum session, and the young men and women performed their drum session with dance involved on the beach. So it was pretty cool to see that. They showed me about the different clubs and bars that people go to at night to relax and have fun after a days of work. So that was cool. I looking back, I went there. I stayed at this place called Belize Dreams, it was like, I think it was called Belize Dreams. But it sucked. It was a resort, but I mean, like, it had a lot of issues, namely with the Wi-Fi not working, and then some of the people that worked the front desk staff are bougie. So if you do go to Hopkins, I would recommend staying at one of the local spots in town, not at the resort. You're gonna meet more of the bougie, sedity black people, you know, that want to pretend they're more than what they are. But you'll meet more of the local crowd when you go into Hopkins and in the city. You still had some of that elitist, lunatic mentality people there. So, these creepy people that come from Europe and they hate black people guts, but they come over 2,000 miles and spend money to come to a predominantly country with people of color, and they pretend they're better than the people. I had an incident where one woman thought she was going to talk down to me.
Racist white people everywhere on the planet harassing the black people. This will be on film. Exactly. God don't like ugly, so it don't matter. Have a nice day. Pierce Place. Do not come. It's a racist establishment taking advantage of black people in the tropics.
No, I make more money than you, I'm more successful than you. You're not better or superior over me, and never can, ever will be. So you got some of that there, but again, similar to Kiko, you can avoid it. It's you got a whole lot of great people, got a lot of great hardworking black people.
Yeah. That yellow building right before that. Yeah, you can check it out. There's a spot Mel's Dining, a Driftwood Pizza place. That's
Driftwood
all
Pizza.
on the beach, happening right now.
So that's where the best food is.
Yeah. I recommend my body right there though.
Okay.
Zudolph channel.
Zudolph channel.
Yeah, Luba La Ruga.
Okay, all right.
Nice seafood, local food and stuff.
What do you think? What do you recommend the best place to go to for like it has Wi-Fi?
Then we have here, bro, we have the restaurant right here too.
Okay.
So you can go out and hang and whatnot, but
Okay.
we just had the power went out. We got a cut in the line, so the company is here to fix that. And I guess they're done, so we're going to have Wi-Fi anytime now.
All right, cool. Good. Appreciate it.
I'm great, dog.
Gordon, nice to meet you.
Ella's spot. Then you have many of the locals I met there, real cool. For the fellas, I'll say that the women, they're gonna be a little bit more down to earth. It's kind of country, it's kind of like Alabama. It remind you of Alabama a little bit. People will be a little bit more slower paced, a little bit more down to earth. So the people, but it's kind of like a vibe still where people gotta get to know you a little bit, but they're curious because they're gonna know you're American by the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you act, and they're gonna be curious about you, and that curiosity can be your foot in the door, so to speak, to blossom an interesting relationship. So that's something to note. Overall, I would say Belize is, for me, as a black man, to go to a country with black people, black culture is always a treat. 'Cause I get to see, a different side of me. I mean, many of these people were brought there through due to horrible, disgusting transatlantic slave trade. And many of them, I mean, essentially are my distant cousins. So just seeing how the people move and how their culture is, how they held on to their African heritage, with many of the different languages that were birthed to include the Patwater Creole, the Belizean Creole language, which I would hear some people talk. I didn't hear them talk Creole as much as I heard in Jamaica, but they would talk Creole. And it was really cool to see that. And then just listening to, hearing the different slang words they use. I think somebody said vaccine or something. I still don't know what the hell that means, but, different languages they use, words they use, the music that would birth through the Black people, the dance hall, the reggae, which now, birth reggaeton, the popular Latin music that you see all the Latin artists perform come from reggae. It's really cool to, see that culture, see how they cook the food that they made. Ella talks about it in the video that I have at Ella's Cool Spot restaurant, Conk, and it was some other different food, a lot of seafood, a lot of people ate. So if you are into that, they got that for you. A lot of the food is a little bit more natural. I can taste the difference when I'm eating the food there. Granted I'm vegan, but you can taste the freshness of the food, the nutrients, et cetera, et cetera. Almost, I mean, like it's definitely a clear difference between the food that I eat in the States and then the food that I eat in the islands, and definitely in Belize. Much fresher, much better in countries like Belize. It is a little bit much of a developing country. So you're not going to see like a lot of high rises or, really fancy buildings or overly fancy neighborhoods. They had this one neighborhood in Belize City overlooking the water where a lot of well-off people lived and where they had some private schools and so forth. But, Belize, I think, is an up-and-coming spot. You have like a lot of Europeans and Americans going to places like the north side of Kikoga to buy the land and property because it's like $50,000 and you can buy a good plot of land and build whatever you want on it. Different businesses that are cropping up. I saw several women from, white supremacists. I saw them on an island. They were buying up like properties and open up restaurants and, hoarding over the land and lording over the people. But for a lot of people of color or Black people, you could go down there yourself and invest in Belize. My latest video I posted of Hopkins, Belize in the drum session, I talked about it early in the video that, man, you could invest in Hopkins, Belize. So you could buy a property down there instead of having, loony, racist maniacs, who want to talk down to people, just trying to live their life. You could buy the property and invest in the Black people and, really show how Black lives matter, not from a standpoint of weakness and begging people to like you or march in the street, but actually investing in yourself and your people and seeing what you could do. However, you had to get used to a rustic lifestyle. Is a little, once again, it's not the most developed country. Throughout the country, one of the major bus systems is like the old school buses. And they had this in a couple of the Latin countries too, like El Salvador and Honduras. They call them chicken buses over there. But, so it's not going to be the most developed. But, I enjoy riding on the bus. They were playing like the dance hall and the hip hop and music on the ride throughout the country when I was going to San Ignacio and Belmopan. But, yeah, I mean, I think Belize has a lot of potential, a lot of growth and development that can come about it, and they speak English, so it'll be an easy place to navigate to. The money, so like $5, let's see, $5 for US is $10 Belizean, so your money is double. USD is double down in Belize, so you can get great deals. Just make sure that you don't get gringo, as they say in Latin America, or in Belize, that you don't get the tourist price, because people will try you. So you want to be mindful when you catch the taxis that you get the right price, and that people do you right. I think staying in Best Western helps with that, because when they gave me the exact price from the airport, which was $25 from the international airport to Best Western, and then the dude who drove me around, Michael, he charged me the fair price. I think it was like $10 to $10 back into the city, which is what around what the locals get charged, and I think that's what the locals get charged. I think. But he wasn't like trying to rip me off or nothing like that. So I think when you do go to Belize, just make sure that you're dealing with reputable people. Anywhere else on the planet. I mean, it's not, was Belize, Colombia, in South America, the DR, you just gotta be mindful, who you're working with, and et cetera, because it is an island. I mean, it's a developing country, and people are, they gotta eat. A lot of people are struggling because of this, pandemic, and they gotta eat, they gotta make money. So, and of course, it's gonna be associated with American, that you're this and that. I mean, really, us, especially as Black people, I mean, we're just hardworking people. We made it from the bottom and working our way up, and it's not that we're this, this, whatever that they think that we are as far as money's concerned, but we just work hardworking people that work hard for our money, saved up, and are living our best life, and that's the way everybody should be. But with that, you're gonna have people that maybe try to eat off on you a little bit too much, and so you gotta protect yourself at all times, they say. Overall, pretty cool experience. I would say Belize is excellent for the rich history, the culture that you will get to experience there in the amazing Belize. The history that I didn't even know of about the Garífuna people and how they were there pre-Columbus, the Mayan people that still practice their old ancient ways pre-rapist Columbus. Let's see, the Mestizo people and their culture, which is all intertwined with Belizean culture, because it's really not a separate vibe as much, and people for the most part interact with one another. As long as you're not coming there like an elitist American, like many Americans can do. They think they're better than other people. No matter the color. I've seen African Americans do this too. They think they're better than other people. Especially when I was in Jamaica. I mean, oh my God. But as long as you don't come with that kind of not duality nonsense, you be good, and they'll be good to you. Everything's everything. Just, big up the country, give much respect to the people, and everything is everything, man. I recommend Belize highly for the culture, for the fact that as a U.S. citizen with the USD, your money is double there, so you'll be able to spend your money and spray your money well there without, overdoing it. I think that it has a lot of great sites to visit. San Ignacio and the Mayan ruins, the Garífuna people to the south, and Hopkins, and then Dangrenga, the cities of Hopkins and Dangrenga. I think that you also get a nice, relaxed vibe on the amazing tropical islands of of Kikoker and San Pedro, and I think that is a good choice. It's a good choice. I highly recommend Belize, and when you got some time, go check it out. Till next time.